But we shall move on for now, because schools in England will be banned from teaching sex education to children under 9 years old. This is in new government guidance expected to be published tomorrow.
Well, the Education Secretary Gillian Keegan will also announce that once sex education starts, pupils must be taught about the reality of biological sex.
Well, joining us now is Fiona McAnena, Director of Campaigns at Sex Matters. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Fiona. Your perspective on all this, is this a positive move?
Yes, this is very welcome. Teachers have been calling out for some time for clarity about what they should be teaching when. Instead, what we've had is a kind of ideological Wild West where all kinds of external groups can come in and teach whatever they think is appropriate. And then, to add insult to injury, parents have often not been able to see the materials that are being used to teach their children because they're told it's commercially sensitive. So what's really good about this proposal is that the parents will have a right to see the materials that their children are going to see, and that schools will stop teaching gender identity as a fact. There's been a huge increase in children expressing confusion about what sex they are. So it's very welcome to see that will at least will not be exacerbated by what they're being told in school.
I think everyone can see that parents being able to see what their children are being taught is clearly a step forward. It's amazing that this hasn't happened until this point. But on the issue of this ban on discussion of gender issues, is there a risk that, especially for older children, people even at the age of 16, 17, even 18 in some cases at the very top end of schools, is it really right to ban discussion over these areas?
I haven't seen the guidance, but I don't think that they're proposing to ban discussion. What I think is important is that they're proposing to teach the facts about human bodies and sex and all the things that children need to know to stay safe and look after themselves and to have good relationships. And as they get older, there are, of course, more things to be discussed. But teaching little children that you can't know what sex you are is clearly not true, and it's not responsible, and it's really good to see an end to that.
Do you think that children should be taught that trans people exist? So, for example, a parent at the school could be transgender and could present as a different gender from the one that they were born in or biologically are. Do you think that children should be taught that, or that should just be something that they learn from their parents or throughout life or from meeting other people? How do you see it working in practice?
Well, I think we have to separate out sex education from relationship education, and those in turn are somewhat different from teaching children in school to be tolerant, to be inclusive, to be respectful of difference. And I think part of the problem here is they've all been rolled into one. And so children have ended up being taught almost that they can choose an identity, even while they're still not clear that there is male and female and where babies come from.
I mean, Fiona, it is quite incredible. There's been quite a lot of investigative reporting into what's happening at schools, and essentially these outside bodies, these outside organisations and charities are sort of providing teachers with materials that parents have never seen. They don't know of. Parents are then finding out what their children are being taught. It's going around Facebook, Twitter, social media, etc. And parents are absolutely shocked. I mean, what's to say that that won't continue?
Yes, well, this is supposed to be statutory guidance, so that should mean that it will stop. But there have been legal challenges by parents to try and get to see what their parents are being taught. And as you say, that's a bizarre state of affairs. And groups like Transgender Trend have been pushing for years to say it's irresponsible to teach children that you can choose your sex or that you can't know what sex anyone else is. And so, we expect that this is the kind of clear guidance that teachers really mostly want.
Well, Fiona McAnena, thank you so much for joining us and talking through those issues.